Hey, what's up? I'm with my partner.
B.
Have I ever did a rap one yet?
Oh my gosh, no, you haven't.
Okay, I don't got 16 bars, so I'm just leave it alone. You listening to her in the huddle on
not
W.
ready mentally for what that might sound like. I'm going to be honest with you.
I might bring that fire. You never know. You listening to her in the huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. I might have 16 bars for you. You never know.
Listen. You wouldn't be 16. You wouldn't have 16 bars if you were the back of the flats. Okay.
I don't even got 16 bars of chocolate. Now you listening to your girl, the First Lady Sports. I'm here with Sugar Booger in the house.
Hey.
You know, we try to give you some of the hottest sports talk on the radio in the world. Thank you for joining us. And we've got a lot to get into. First of all, I miss you. I get happy about our day together.
It's nice
Wednesday.
Though. You wouldn't miss me if I wasn't gone sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I didn't take the time off, then when I came back, it'd just be like another day.
No, not really, because we get one day a week together.
That's true.
You know, we so busy, so much happens throughout the week. It literally feels like it's a month since we see each other.
As kids say, hashtag facts.
Yeah, thank you. See, we hip. We ain't know.
No, we're very hip. We're very hip.
So I plan to give a score update for the Cleveland Indians, right?
Yeah.
So when they booked the game for 4:10 p.m.,
yes.
Do you think somebody was looking at the weather reports?
Well, it doesn't matter right now over the last week if you look at the weather report or not. Because here's what the weather says. It's going to rain every day. It's going to be sunny every day. It's going to be a little bit of everything every day. Every day for the last week, it has been sunny all morning, rained all afternoon, been sunny at night. And that's the way it is. And that is the way. Don't you remember being a kid in Cleveland? And it seemed like that was every summer day we ever had. We never had just a nice day. It's going to be nice. But if you go to the pool, remember, it's probably going to rain at some point. And then you wait outside and then you would be able to get back in the water, wherever you were. It rains every day all summer long. At least part of the day.
Yeah, but you know, also too, we had the gift of discernment and timing when we knew what time to leave out the house. So
True.
We didn't have those expectations. We knew that we was gonna get it in the later part of the day until the street lights came on.
But you know what's different now about predicting weather?
What?
Dick Goddard's gone.
Oh,
Once Dick Goddard
was so old, he probably talked to Jesus and got the weather.
He knew.
Yeah, because all Dick cared about was that Willie Bear Festival.
That
was all he cared about. That was all he talked about was some doggone cats and dogs. But this is the thing. My iPhone tells me, and I'd say for the most part it is highly accurate.
Right.
My phone told me earlier this morning or yesterday that it's going to rain up until a certain time. 4 p.m. was in that time slot. So I'm trying to understand why they didn't schedule the game for 1:10 p.m. like they would with a traditional doubleheader.
Right.
Granted that these games are 7-inning games. So they're not 9 innings. They get an extra player. But why wouldn't you schedule a game for as early in the day as possible when it's not supposed to rain? Help me understand, please. Please, sir.
You got to staff people, though, Rach. You got to get people in to work at the stadium. You got to make staffing adjustments. It's hard to coordinate all those people for a different time on short notice because of the weather. I don't think you can do it. Logistically, that's a nightmare.
I mean, most of those people are retirees. You don't see a ton of young people doing those jobs because I did it when I was at Ohio State.
There's a lot of people riding a bus. There's a lot of people transportation.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of moving parts.
I was an usher at the Ohio State University at the Schottenstein Center. Mm-hmm. And I tell people that job was one of the best jobs you could ever have because you picked when you worked. And I said, the one thing, no offense to all you wrestlers out there, but there was one thing I would not work after working one time, and that was the Ohio State Wrestling Championships, because it was the most boring event I'd ever seen in my life. I enjoyed working Pavarotti in a Three Tenors opera concert more than I did wrestling. It was awful.
Shaker Heights' own and Ohio State alumni Willie Knight just somewhere doubled over in pain from the gut punch. You just
I'm gonna still vote for you, Willie, though. That's
your double alma mater guy.
I know.
And you just gut punch.
But you know what? It wasn't Ohio State wrestling. It was Ohio high school wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and then all you heard
it was probably
such and such from St. Ed.
They were all
Willie
doing
older than me. Yeah, all of St. Edwards, St. Edwards, state champion, 210 pounds heavyweight. I'm like, my God, I'm never doing this again. But it literally was one of the best jobs I ever had because I worked all the basketball games and got in there for free.
Right.
And, Ohio State women's basketball games, whatever, all the hockey games, all that other stuff. Yeah. So it was just a great
fun
job.
To retire and work at the Indians game.
It is. And because you can pick when you want to do it. And then you got the schedule in advance. So you know when you can't and when you can't work unless an emergency comes up. But I'm like, those are one of the best jobs to possibly have, especially me being young and being in school. Yeah. I would do a lot of double headers, but it was just a great job as far as logistics. So that's super cool. But, and guess what? They're not going to be playing the second game of this today. So they're going to be trying to make this game up as well. So I'm like,
got it as delayed status, but I just feel like they're not.
Because they moved past what would have been a start time for the first game, and then your second game is at 7:10, and it's supposed to rain at that time too. So we're not going to be able to give an Indians update because they're not going to be playing 3 games in a row at this point now.
Right.
So they're going to have to probably tack it on or do a doubleheader, when they play again, because I just really don't think it's going to happen. I'm supposed to go down there and be on assignment and cover the Houston Astros, 2 of those games, Thursday and Friday. And I'm like, I don't think they're playing tomorrow either, based on what my iPhone says weather-wise.
Boy, Sunday would be the game to go to. 110, July 4th. It's funny that they're having a day game because usually July 4th is fireworks. So I'm surprised they're doing a day game on July 4th.
I had contemplated about that game.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do. And like you said, you would think it would at least be maybe a 4 o'clock, 4:10 game or 5:10. Yeah, but I guess the Indians was like, they want to give everybody the holiday off as well, too.
Well, the Indians did manage to win yesterday, which is nice of them to do. And I'll tell you what, they're so...
No, the day before yesterday.
The day before.
Yeah.
But they're so dinged up right now that if they can get a day where they don't have to play because of some injuries, let a couple people get another day or 2 healthy, fine with that. I don't think they've got Naylor on the 10-day list. I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah. So I put an update today out on all my social media.
Right.
And they're making it seem like and I'm like, they need to just say he's done for the season because there really is 3 months left of a season. He's having a surgery. He also tore a ligament as well, I believe. So it's going to take him 3 months just to be able
at least
to even be able to walk. He's going to be on crutches for about 3 months. And you've had catastrophic leg injury before.
They started rattling all that stuff that was on with it. And I've broken both my ankles, by the way.
Oh, my God.
So I've done that, too.
Closed fracture or open fracture?
I don't know.
Closed is it doesn't break the skin.
Oh, no, it didn't break the skin.
Okay.
But it
I just learned that.
I'll tell you right now, here's the thing about ankle injuries that I will tell you from experience. Your ankle is never the same. You can rehab it. You can do exercises. You can do whatever. After I broke my ankles, I would sprain my ankle all the time. And I still do. I'll just be walking down the street. My ankle will give out sprain. I'll fall down on the ground. Like it's never strong. And I went through sports rehab, played sports after that, lifted weights with it. I've done all the exercises you're supposed to do. They're weak. I just sprained it a couple weeks ago. I sprained my ankle and twisted it, and it got all, swollen. It was bad. But his ankle, no matter what rehab he does, this is the type of injury that changes your career too. I hate to say that. I hope he comes back and gets better. This isn't the type of injury, though, that you just rehab and you're back and it's fine. This is something that's always there. Your ankles take a lot of abuse. And the other thing that happens, too, this is the type of injury that you think about all the time. I really, like my knee, if I ever didn't know, I have a leg that got cut in half. I have a bad knee and all kinds of stuff there. I don't worry about that messing up again. When I'm walking, when I'm running, I'm not thinking about it. When I'm playing basketball after that, not that I do much of that anymore, but all through college age and all that, when I played basketball, I was constantly worried I was going to twist that ankle again. And I would play more tentative.
Yeah.
He's going to be like that. It's not one of those injuries. It's just he's going to come back and be better either. I really worry about what this is going to do long-term for his career. And he was playing some good ball this year.
Played good ball last season for us in the playoffs.
Yeah, he did. That's
5 for 7.
What hurts you worse? The stuff that's going on with Bieber or Plesac or one of those guys, or Naylor, where you've got a rotation of pitchers. What hurts you worse? One of those pitchers or Naylor?
The pitchers, because you need them. I mean, but they're all replaceable though.
Well, I'm saying, like, what if you like him or Bieber, him or Plesac, him or Savali? Like, if you just had to switch out one of them, would you? If you could change it and say, "I'll give you him back," you have to give me one of the pitchers out for the season. Would you do it?
No.
Interesting.
I wouldn't do it.
Would.
I wouldn't do it because it's like you can replace him. And one of the things about him too is that they say he plays like a bull in a china shop. He gives it his all. He's only 24 years old, so he hasn't even hit his prime yet. And at times he's had a clutch bat for the Cleveland Indians. So I think it's hard. I think with that pitching staff, it's just Savali and just Shane, not Justin. He specifically wore a jersey on Jersey Day that says not Justin. Okay, sorry, Shane. My bad. It rolls off the tongue so easy.
Yes.
But replacing one of the best, because Shane has been one of the best, but also Aaron Savali as well. Yeah. He was tied with the player, I think Jason Garrett, for the not the Mets, but the Cubs, with the highest amount of wins in baseball. Yes. So slowly but surely, Aaron was becoming a status and doing better than Shane Bieber. So those two, no. I wouldn't. Plesac, no. Tristan McKenzie, yes. Yep. Logan Allen, yes. Fair enough. Those three, Zach Plesac is a head case though too. So that's another thing. But those three, they were dealing. So I would say no. And I would, you can have Josh Naylor, but the pitching is so important, especially in the playoffs as well. It's critical, and that's when it comes down to pitching duels. So you want to have the best pitchers possible, which we were having. So it'd be a no for me when I think about it a little bit.
I agree. I want to talk about switching topics for a second. I want to shout out my guy Jake Friend, who is he's my broadcast partner for the Harvey High School games. He does the games with me. But he is running from Boston to Los Angeles. He's taking Route 20 from Boston to Los Angeles and running that to raise awareness for mental health issues. He is averaging 41 miles a day on this journey. He actually struggled with depression, and he is paranoid schizophrenic. And he dealt with his mental illness finding running. And that's what has enabled him to keep his peace. And he, it's amazing. So the other day he was running. He ran 37 miles, passed out due to heat exhaustion. They haven't had hotels every night. They've got an RV that his dad and his girlfriend are behind him on the road in. That has no air conditioning now. That went out.
And they passed out.
They can't get it fixed. They're hot. They luckily had a hotel that night. He passed out on the floor in the bathroom of the hotel. They got him towels or whatever. Woke up the next day and ran 44 miles.
2 questions.
Yes.
Is he, hold on, let me say, is he Kenyan first?
No.
Okay.
He is a little redheaded guy.
Okay, that's it. So that you answered my second question. Thank you.
He's a little redheaded guy with a big bushy beard. He runs with Steph Loss and runs with the Winners people and does a lot of stuff with Ricky Smith and Rake.
Okay.
And is out there doing his thing. So I just want to shout out my guy Jake. And
hey,
Jake,
it's an
interesting story.
We're rooting for you. We're behind you.
We look at all the crazy things in sports and athletes, and we get caught up in crazy stuff. But there's people out there that are everyday athletes in this area, in the Cleveland area, doing big things. We got to be proud of that. Rachel, we got to take a break.
I'm on my way. I'm on top of it.
When we come back, we've got a bevy of topics that we could talk about.
We got to talk
a little. Oh, you want to go back to baseball?
Just one last topic.
They don't play till 6:40.
Trevor Bauer, baby.
Oh,
we got to talk about TB. TB.
All right.
All right, we'll be right back. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
We are celebrating Black Music Month.
Oh my gosh, that is an interesting story.
Yeah. Yeah, because they say they got a lot of text messages between the two of them. So
with her asking to be choked out and slapped.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
It says woman says he gave her concussion during sex. His attorney says he has messages from her asking to be, quote, choked out and slapped.
Parker played in his first jam session at age 16, but after struggling,
I almost want to
we have messages that show her repeatedly asking for rough sexual encounters and love requests to be choked out and slapped in the face.
I almost asked Tito about it. Like, does he still talk to Trevor at all? Considering the last contact, when the last contact they had was him throwing the ball. That was the last pitch he ever made. Was him throwing the ball like 400 feet.
In the days following their second and final encounter, she shared photos of herself and indicated that she had sought medical care for a concussion. Mr. Bauer responded with concern and confusion, and the woman was neither angry nor accusatory. This sounds like a little bit of either miscommunication or a setup.
Sounds like a setup. And then Trevor Bauer is not a sympathetic figure either.
No. But if they have text saying that,
yeah,
she's gonna have a hard time winning that game.
Good luck with that. I ain't a Trevor Bauer fan, but yeah, nice try. I think he'll be fine. And you know, he kept those, screenshotted those, emailed those to himself just in case. Yeah. He should be smarter than that.
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy too.
Cray.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle.
Everybody, free Britney. The universe. The best I could do is free Bill Cosby. Like Pawn Stars. Come on, man.
Hey. I'm gonna create a rap for me to come into one time.
Please don't.
What do you mean, please don't? Why don't you believe in me? And like, you should be encouraging me to write the best 16 bars.
A true
16 bars. Is that 16 sentences?
Oh my gosh. And that's why I'm not encouraging. A true friend tells you you have a bad idea. And they tell you to stay in your lane, do what you do. You absolutely should not record a rap theme song.
But I just want to bring this in one time. It's just like one of the things I want to do in life is just bring us in. And George says he supports me.
What up, George?
George, yeah. George, did you hear Suge say what's up? But he said, as for the Drone Boy situation, let the investigation take its course to determine
Drone Boy?
If and when charges or by MLB or anyone will be filed. So yes, George calls Trevor Bauer Drone Boy from the incident in 2016, which might be one of the reasons why we didn't win the World Series, because Trevor Bauer was playing with his drone and his droid.
It sounds like he was playing with his drone recently. Sounds like his drawing is what got him in trouble.
His drone. Excuse me. His drone. He was playing with that, sliced his finger, and it was unavailable to us as we went on a World Series run, in which we lost to the Chicago Cubs. I don't want to talk about that. Still makes me mad. I ain't got over it. I hold grudges. I hold this one for the rest of my life. I still hate. The Marlins. Still hate the Braves. So anybody that beat my team, I hate them all. So they fall under the same category. But before we went to break, we were going to talk about the situation with Trevor Bauer. There has been some allegations from someone that he has had intimate relations with, assault allegations. And you said that you had read some of the issues, and they had texts back and forth, in which they described having a rough coupling.
Yes.
And there were certain situations that were outlined that a person asked for.
This is going to be a very interesting case because sexual abuse is real. It is never okay to sexually abuse somebody against their consent. But what if somebody has given you consent to abuse them and asked for that specifically? Where is the line drawn? Had he not knocked her out, would there have been, Like, he gave the woman a concussion, but they have text messages where she asked to be hit in the face. So at what point is it his fault? Like, how do you? He shouldn't have hit so hard. I don't know how that. It's going to be interesting for them to determine what was asked for and what wasn't. This is going to get interesting.
You've seen Con Air, right?
Yes.
So remember how, and I don't know if this is actual fiction or actual real life, if someone's hands can be considered deadly weapons because of what they do.
They can be.
Trevor Bauer specializes in throwing a ball almost 100 miles an hour. So you know that he has the ability to cause.
I don't think he has to register his hands.
Okay, deadly weapons. But there's potential for him to do some great damage. And I don't, everybody has their preferences, but to, want a concussion, first of all, those hurt. You get enough of them, you could die. Brain damage is a possibility. Concussions have ended careers, sports
but also,
careers.
If you get one at the right time with the right story, you could get rich.
That is very true.
So that's the other side of it. That's where they're going to have a hard time deciding what this is going to be. And I certainly am not accusing that woman of any malfeasance here. I'm not saying she's a bad lady.
All right, Your Honor.
I don't know the story, but I'm saying with those text messages going back and forth, they're going to have some interesting decisions to make when it comes time to rule on that case.
I'll allow it, counselor.
Thank you. Defense rest.
Yes,
so the thing is, so now though, this there's been some sexual abuse and some sexism that's reared its head from people that were involved in the organization over the last few years, and it's interesting that it's all coming out now, isn't it? Like, this is was there a culture issue with the teams over the last
when was this? I thought it was just recent.
Well, that was just recent, but I'm saying you had people on there. Who was the other one?
Mickey Callaway.
Mickey Callaway, like, was there a bigger picture culture issue with this team?
Absolutely, it's a culture of baseball.
Culture of baseball. So
culture
it's bigger
of
than
sports.
The team.
It's culture of sports.
Okay.
So this isn't the first. And the key words with Chris Antonetti when you need something is to say, "I don't feel comfortable." Because remember in his press conference he said, "I want to make sure this is an environment where people feel comfortable working in." Yep. So as a member of the media, you can say, "I don't feel comfortable," and the Cleveland Indians might try to accommodate you. I might have just heard that out on the streets. But if you use the right verbiage, because we got you on record saying that you want to make this a comfortable environment. So if somebody says I'm not comfortable, I'm going to need you to rectify that.
Right. So what do the Dodgers do with him in the meantime?
You know what? I don't know, quite honestly. I mean, you do the investigation. If law enforcement is involved, you let law enforcement do that. They have Major League Baseball security, in which they'll and team security, which they will conduct their own investigation together with the outcome. But the good thing for Trevor, I'm not saying he did it or didn't, but the good thing for him is that he kept the receipts.
I feel like, although not everybody liked it when it happened, I feel like we got right. I feel like we got rid of him at the right time.
Trevor got rid of himself.
I know, but I feel like that was the time for us to get out.
He got better as a pitcher, though.
Yeah.
When he was in Cincinnati, he won a Cy Young, which he was fully capable of doing here. He was very close to doing that here. It just didn't happen. And things kind of imploded for him on a bad streak.
Yeah.
But, yes, any head case is going to bring negative attention because you mentioned before with the Cleveland Indians, a cultural issue. That's not a good fit for what they're trying to do, even though Trevor appears, and I'm no Trevor Bauer fan, Trevor Bauer appears to have all of his ducks lined up in a row when it comes to this one. Right. And receipts are everything in this world. So, it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out, how Major League Baseball, determines, how the police determine this, and how Los Angeles Dodgers security investigates this and what will be the outcome. So, it'll be interesting to see.
So the Tribe is going to try to get the game in. They're scheduling the first game for a 6:40 start and the second game for a 9:10 start.
Wait, what?
That's what they're saying right now. 6:40 for game 1, game 2 at 9:10.
They better be glad it's a family show. So you trying to start the second game when I'm going to bed.
Yep.
And also there's a playoff game tonight. There's a basketball playoff game.
Yep. There will be 0.3 people at that stadium.
Because it gets cold down there when it rains.
They're gonna think they're back in the bubble. I mean, what in the heck is it? COVID?
Just clear it out.
They're
man.
just playing for the announcers tonight. That's all they're playing for. That's when I think that's I guess scheduling wise, they just want to get it out of the way.
They screwed themselves though.
Yeah, I don't know what you do there. I guess they just want to get it out of the way. I don't know why they would think that's a good idea. They're going to lose money just by turning the lights on.
I bet you it wasn't a woman who made that decision.
Well,
it was a man.
The women are still trying to make the decision. She's still thinking about it. Like my girlfriend at Taco Bell. The first fight we got into and a fight we have every time. Can't make a decision at Taco Bell.
Well, since they took the Mexican pizza off the menu, why even go? There's no point in going anymore.
Fair enough.
Did you see I don't know if you saw my post when I literally was about to legit be in tears. I'm not gonna date myself, but let's just say I've been eating Mexican pizzas since there was an 8, which is the third digit of the year. There was an 8.
I've been eating since they were $59, $79, $99.
What?
Remember the old $59, $79, $99 menu at Taco Bell? That was their whole pricing.
Well,
things were either 59 cents, 79 cents, or 99 cents, and that was the whole menu.
Well, once they took tomatoes off of it changed the game.
Now a burrito is like $5. Like, when did they start
pricing? Chipotle price is about to go up. They increased their pay to the CEO, but they're talking about because of they're paying their employees more, they have to increase the prices of their burritos. No, you're increasing the price of burritos because what you're paying your CEO. So yeah, but the burritos in the second are gonna be $10 here. Excellent. But I love Chipotle though.
Yeah,
so
I'll give you a bowl.
Oh my god. Steak bowl.
Yeah.
Steak.
I ain't mad at it. So listen, I know we're gonna come back around and talk about this in our next segment in more detail, but before we get into the details and the ins and outs of the NBA playoffs, there's a lot of rumors.
I love a rumor.
The rumor mill keeps coming back around to the Cavs making a play for Ben Simmons. It keeps coming around. And I can tell you now that I would not want that to happen in a million years.
What?
But the craziest one is Ben Simmons coming, and then when LeBron's contract is up in LA, him coming back for one more contract in Cleveland to play with Ben Simmons and finish out.
I keep on telling y'all LeBron is coming back.
That's what they're saying. They're saying Simmons is the first step in the building block to get LeBron back, just like last team.
Like Kyrie would.
They got to build him a team.
Tristan Thompson was actually a building block as well. Yeah. But he was like an insignificant one. Yeah. That really, it didn't move the needle any. Well, but when you look at how that team came together, it was the drafting of those two because Tristan was a second round of that draft.
So if they take the young talent they have now, obviously they're probably going to give away Garland for that spot. I'm thinking if they want to get Simmons, Sexton is probably going to be the trade. We'll keep Garland. You got Ben Simmons. You get a draft pick that turns out okay this year at the number 3 pick, or maybe you trade it up. I don't know. You might have to trade that pick to get Simmons. I wouldn't do that, by the way, but maybe you do. I can't stand Ben Simmons.
Why?
Or Joel Embiid.
I think you just don't like Philly. That's all.
That whole team, as Chris Styles and I have broken down many times, that is a Drake product team.
They cry every song.
Softer than a napkin. And they warm up to Drake R&B songs and reggaeton songs. And then they go out and they have no heart and they're horrible.
But why y'all hating on Drake first and foremost? Because every Drake song is a hit. I can't think of a bad Drake song. So why y'all talking about Drake? Talking about all he making songs in which he crying on.
Great song.
I like a man crying. Women like men in touch with their emotions.
Together, and this is not a sexist thing, by the way. They can be male gymnasts. If you're putting away if you're putting together your floor routine, Drake is perfect.
Do men do routine?
I don't know. They should. It's 2021.
Which Drake song would you include in your floor routine if you was a gymnast?
Controller.
Because it's about body control. Yeah. So that's a perfect song.
Maybe you're a synchronized swimmer. You put on God's plan. I don't know.
Hey, so my friends teased me for this, but in 5th grade, I was on the synchronized swim team club.
Really?
Yes.
Just define stereotypes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was the only black girl.
Yeah.
Or was there another one? I was 5th grade.
That I can just see now the first time you got in the pool and they tried to save you. You're like, no, I'm swimming. Help her! She's down. Help her!
Code 20 underwater.
Down. But I just like Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. They just sit there, they listen to Drake, and hang out, and then they go try to play basketball. And the other guys listen to Pop Smoke, and they're just dunking on him like it's bad. So I would not be excited about Ben Simmons. What say you, yay or nay?
We don't talk about that. I'm gonna hold my answer until we come back from break.
That's what they call in the industry a tease.
Yeah, I like a little tease.
There we go.
So you're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
This is breaking news from the WOVU newsroom. Bill Cosby has been released from prison after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned his 2018
Is it in yet? Is this the right hole?
drugging and molesting Andrew Cosby in 2004.
I like LeBron better than Jordan. I do like LeBron better than Jordan.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about when he was talking about, I don't think he's ever had sex before. And that was like, is it in yet? Am I in the right spot? Am I in the right place? I was in tears. Is that the right hole?
That's so weird.
Stay tuned for updates from the WOVU newsroom.
Maybe he's autistic.
Oh, for sure, we talked about that. He's on the spectrum. That's not even. It's how far. Huh? Yeah. I'm looking. You looking at me right now? Oh, you're on. I'm sorry. I thought you were.
216-491-0669 or visit TheaBowmanCenter.org. Call the Thea Bowman Center at 216-491-0669 or visit TheaBowmanCenter.org to register today.
This message is brought to you by the Thea Bowman Center and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a virtual community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
Hey, you're listening to Her in the Huddle. But we and it's a whole bunch of puddles outside. Her in the Huddle puddles. It rhymes.
You didn't want to go with Trevor Bauer with his hand power.
No.
Gave him a concussion before he started. Okay. Change some checks. That was. I want to give a shout out to Harvey Red Raider softball coach Betsy Hada, News Herald softball coach of the year. Shouts out to Betsy Hada and the Lady Raiders.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah,
right. Out of how many teams? Like,
I mean,
1 or 2. I'm sorry.
Every team, Shaker, that's in the area.
No, it's
They cover Shaker. Could have
not. The News Herald?
Yeah, they could have Shaker.
No, that's Painesville.
The News Herald was all of Lake County, half of Cuyahoga County, and Ashtabula County.
What part of Cuyahoga County, though? I never
Euclid, Shaker, Cleveland Heights, they cover all those things. East side.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations to your coach. So I just before we went to break, I was teased.
Yes.
So I was teasing everyone. I said I'd take Ben Simmons because right now, have you seen who we got right now? You like 20? You like 20 wins a year?
Then this is the team for you.
Yeah, exactly. Give me Ben Simmons.
How many more do you win with Ben Simmons on your team?
You go to playoffs.
No, you don't.
AC, baby.
No.
Bring it in. AC.
Ben Simmons takes you to the AC. Well, that they were close, and everybody makes the playoffs in the NBA.
And your draft pick too. So think about the draft pick you're gonna get.
You might have to get the draft pick up to get it.
I don't like that.
So here's where you get into things. Like, do you give up Sexton, the number 3 pick, to get Simmons? Because that's probably what it's going to be.
I don't like the possibility of giving up our draft pick because draft picks are so important.
Right.
I don't think we're going to be able to build through free agency because I don't think free agents will want to come here. So I think it's important for us to develop this team and build this team through the draft.
The Cavs are in such a bad position.
Exactly.
Because if you pick up Simmons, you give up that number 3 pick. I don't think Simmons is enticing enough to attract other free agents. I don't think people, especially after this playoff series he had where he passed on layups and missed 12-foot jump shots, I don't see anybody leaving their team to come play with Ben Simmons. That number 3 pick, this draft, is it just me or does this draft seem very, very limited in terms of what you're going to get out of it?
Very limited. It seems like the draft that Trae Young and Colin Sexton came out of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really recall too much good coming out of that. So you look at, Trae Young, yes. But is Trae Young a superstar? Not yet.
He's
very good player. Yeah.
He is after this year.
But
they're going to the NBA Finals.
The Hawks?
100%. Giannis is out.
He got a hyperextended knee.
He's out. He's not playing the next game.
Is Trae Young back though too?
Yeah, Trae will be back.
So Giannis is out for sure.
No, I just
made that up. Oh my God, stop.
We don't know that for sure.
Just a disclaimer out there: the opinions on the show are not of WOVU 95.9 FM.
He's still questionable.
These opinions of our Ryan quotation Sugar book quotation.
He is questionable for the game, but I don't see him coming back. If I was giving him advice, I would say, Giannis, just go ahead and stay out. Just set out for game. So I like the Bucks. I like their total team better. I like Chris Middleton a lot, but I really, really, really like Trae Young. So I'm torn on this. I'm torn on this game. Whoever wins is going to get beat in the finals.
You think so?
Yes.
By who?
Clippers.
So you think that the Clippers are going to make it past Phoenix?
Clippers are going to come back and win that series. Paul George remembered he's a good player. He's fine. Like, I really do think, and I didn't think that going into the series. I didn't think that a couple days ago. After that game he played last night, I feel like a light bulb went off for him, and he saw legacy failing and flowing away. And Kawhi is a steady force back behind him. Like, I feel like he is ready now to close out a series for the first time. By the time they get back to the finals, then Kawhi is going to be feeling better. And listen, the Hawks have one player. The Bucks have two. That's this series in a nutshell. The Clippers have a good squad. They really do. I think they're fine.
You can always make sure you download our app. I got to give these out. I didn't give them out.
The WOVU app.
The WOVU app. You can download that. Take us on the go. You can always give us a call, 216-271-0959. You can listen to us on WOVU.org. And we are streaming on StreamYard on Facebook as well. How much do you hate Patrick Beverly?
I don't.
There's so many people that hate Patrick Beverly.
Here's what it is. You hate Patrick Beverly unless he plays for your team.
That's like Draymond Green.
Just like Anderson Barrett. Hate him unless he's on your team.
I didn't hate him when he went to the Warriors, though.
Well, because he didn't play anymore. Hard to hate a player that doesn't get in the game. Has anybody gone from how many players off of that team went elsewhere and you never heard from them ever again? That team was just full of guys that just went. And even Kevin Love stayed here. You never heard from them again. Like they just went elsewhere. They were done. That was all they had. Nobody was ever good. J.R. Smith, never good again.
Well, he went and won another title with LeBron. Acting like he did something. I know, right?
He's Shumpert.
He's
gone. He's never played again.
Yeah.
Shumpert, gone. Never played again. Timothy Moskov, never good again.
Was he on that team that won?
Yeah, he was on that team.
Okay.
So you start looking, and that's when I start talking about LeBron. And it's like, you can hate on him all he wants. And everybody's like, look at that team he had. Yeah, what happened to all of them after that? Kyrie has been okay, but he's also been injury prone. Never plays.
Been back to the finals.
Doesn't lead team. Like, who was LeBron playing with on that team that was so great? Kevin Love. Hadn't done anything after that. Nobody on that team did anything after that.
That's true. Tristan Thompson, he did nothing
Done.
after that. Well,
Done.
he stayed with the Cavaliers, so that's why.
Yeah, with Love, though. You would have thought they would at least make the playoffs with those two.
But I think immediately after LeBron left, they were done. And immediately at that point. And they emotionally, physically, mentally, they were done. They
Richard
didn't care
Jefferson
what happened.
retired.
And remember, they had these huge contracts.
Yeah.
As well.
When LeBron goes to these teams, they say they're building super teams. A big part of what makes them good is he takes veterans that are role players everywhere else and puts the right role players together. He gets a shooter.
James, what was his
guy.
name? James.
Oh yeah.
But I'm talking about who played for Miami.
Yeah.
James Jones. And he didn't do nothing.
Even Kendrick Perkins, right?
Right.
Perkins,
yeah. But I don't think Perkins was part of that team.
He wasn't on the championship team. But when you look at how LeBron builds teams as a player GM, most of the moves he makes are to get veteran role players that fill a specific role. It's not
and know their role and will stay in their role and are okay with
because
that.
They know if they do that, they're getting a championship.
Because I don't know if I watched the last it's a YouTube video. The last it was 8 minutes, but the last 2 minutes of the game. And after we won, you hear James Jones talking about this is what you came back for, baby. This is what you came back for.
Right.
I came back with you. Get this win.
Look at Delly.
Yeah.
He didn't do nothing. Nobody on that team.
Yeah.
No good.
Yeah.
Think about that. So when you start looking at some of these teams around the league, that's why this year has been so interesting. These teams are all, for the most part, young. The veteran team was the Nets. They had all the veterans that wanted to go get that ring. Mm-hmm. That was that team. Didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It's worked every other year. Mm-hmm. Didn't work this year.
But you think it didn't work because Kyrie was out?
Yeah, for sure. But that's what Kyrie does. We just talked about that. That's what he does. He gets hurt and says dumb stuff. That's his role. That's his role. If you need a guy to get hurt and say stupid stuff, you bring Kyrie in, put him on a 10-day. He's going to be hurt on the 11th.
Yeah, because what did he say about the media? I'm not a pawn. That just came out of nowhere. So that doesn't endear you because you think about the media, we make your reputation as well too.
Yeah.
And we can make you have a good reputation, or we can paint you in a light in which everybody hates you. It's
agree.
Your pick. So, Kyrie better be lucky that it's not like the Major League Baseball writers who determine whether or not somebody get in the Hall of Fame because they hold grudges forever.
Is he a Hall of Fame guy?
Kyrie? I think he could be.
If he retired today, is he a Hall of Fame guy?
No.
I think he'd get in.
You do?
That sounds so stupid, but I think he'd get in. That's
based
the
on
to go. Based
the
on
title.
He won a championship and Brock Cleveland championship, hit that shot, and sometimes that's all you need for legacy.
Okay. Because I was just thinking if he did a little bit more in his career, because I acknowledge the shot and that'll be that should be already be in the Hall of Fame. I've never been there, but I'm like, that should already be there now. But as him, retiring as a Hall of Famer, and then with Cleveland people support that and be, because I'm like, I don't hate Kyrie. I'm thankful for Kyrie. I'm so glad what he did. And other people just pure hatred. But I'm like, I wanted a title for so long that, it means everything. So I'm like, I still don't understand why he won't play here, when he's on the road. But I'm like, I guess he hates us that much, which is just, I don't understand that. But I'm grateful for him, because if it wasn't for him, it wasn't a series of events in which people stepped up at the right time, we wouldn't have that title. So I don't know. I just think it's weird. So you really said Clippers is going to win the title?
I do. I know that's weird to say when they're down in their series right now, but the Eastern Conference teams are banged up. The Clippers are the only team left that really has veterans that have done it. I think they get.
But does Kawhi come back?
Yeah, I think Kawhi will be back to the finals. If they get to the finals, I think he can get back.
It ain't looking good. And from what I was talking about the other day, Monday, he's not very happy with the training staff right now because they ain't letting him play. So that's indicating he ain't ready.
Well, but you got to remember the finals are another week away.
I know they got to get out of the series though. So tonight is win or go home on the road. No, they're at home.
Well, let's look at Paul George. First in the playoff in points, first in minutes, third in rebounds, fifth in assists in this year's playoffs. He is balling out.
Good. Good
You
for
only
him.
need one.
Good
You
for
only need
him.
one. You need one guy.
Yeah, good for him. He had to redeem himself after missing those free throws, though.
Yeah.
So he had to come back. But right now, he's carrying the load for the Clippers. And can they ride him to a title? I don't know about that because they had to get another win on the road. They had to push this to a 7-game series.
I think they do.
So
I think the NBA helps them do that.
every game is a win or go home right now, though.
Listen, we are a Cleveland radio station, so you know when we come back, we got to talk Browns. But real quick, Carmelo Anthony, congratulations, winning the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Championship Award.
He still doesn't have as many awards as you.
No, he's close. A little inside information. There is potential that some Cleveland people might be in on designing that trophy with Carmelo and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
that was a perfect
So we're hoping-
segue
we're
and
hoping-
topic.
That's right. We're
wow.
hoping that some people I know, and if it does happen, I will get him on the show to talk about the process.
Oh,
really
cool.
cool, but really cool. But listen, the Browns, the mini camps are out. There's a lot going on. There's a tight end university camp put on my coordinator. And some people are still waiting on their invite to. So we got more to talk about when we come back after these breaks.
Hey, listen to her on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Yeah, my dude Jason at our agency, the graphic designer, works for the Marcus Thomas project.
Yeah.
Or the Marcus Graham project, which is the black media people that do a lot of stuff with the cast.
I forgot to record the show.
But they are, they asked if there were people from the organization that want to work on that trophy, and him and my buddy JR were the only two that raised their hands. So they're like, all right, we'll take that into consideration. They're both Cleveland guys. So that would be dope.
Yeah, that's perfect. I put that on there today then.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
dope if they do.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Good to
So if
hear.
they do, we'll have to come on and talk about the process.
Yeah.
JR designs baseball cards for Topps.
Oh,
He
really?
mainly works on their wrestling, the WWE cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Can we get him on the show?
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
just to talk about
Yeah.
that. Like, that's
And
awesome.
Jason is in the Marcus Graham, Marcus Graham project. Well, he does all kinds of stuff with the NBA. He's been traveling NBA arenas, and
What did he do for him?
they're like the Marcus Graham project is like a marketing organization that does sports marketing, and it's for black marketing people like designers and ad people, and they've been going to NBA cities, working with the NBA teams. It's cool.
Why can't I find a job like
And
that?
he's with the black
Students of all ages can finish last year's
what else is he
get
with?
a head start on next school year or
Black
engage
sport,
in
the
fun
Greater Cleveland
activities.
Sports Commission,
The
Black
free
Sports
4-week
Commission.
Okay.
session starts
He works
July
with them
12th.
too.
Oh,
Go
okay.
to
Yeah, he does a lot of things.
Oh, wow.
/summer learning or call
Yeah, cool. That'd be dope.
But last year, the Marcus Graham project, at the end of the year, they put a project together. Last year, they got to work with Beats by Dre project. They got paid for designing a campaign for Beats by Dre in the NBA. There you go.
You know some quality people, man.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with
The-
Rachel Hill.
I get them to remove that show, man.
Is that what? Oh, sorry.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle. WOVU and 95.9 FM. I didn't come back to 16 bars this time. So I'm going to be working on my rap.
behalf of everyone, thank you.
Sure, I'm going to be working on the rap game.
I hope not.
You know. Why not? I might be kind of dope at it.
Yeah,
I created the Huddle Puddle.
Yeah, and
You
my hair might grow back.
I
You
came
never
up-
know.
It is going. I see patches right there. I see darkness. You know, I don't see just a bald head. I see there's opportunity for some new growth. You
Yeah.
take some vitamins, you never know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of growth, the Browns are growing together in mini camp and looking good.
Yeah.
Depending on the outlet, they have been ranked anywhere between 1 and 3 in terms of most talented teams in the NFL right now. Where do you think they should fall in?
1 and 3, 1 to 3.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the news outlet, some people have them at 1, some people at 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I put them at 3. I put them behind Tampa Bay, then the Chiefs, and then the Browns. The Browns still have to prove it. They look great on paper, but there's still going to have to be some defensive adjustments made to that new defense. Pretty much, you only have 2 people left. One is Myles Garrett. I forgot who the other one is that started last year. So you have a whole new defense that has to come together. They're only going to get a small opportunity to do that in preseason, not a lot at all, and be able to put it on the field together game 1 against the second best team in all of football. But does Kansas City still have a weaker defense?
To me, yes. Let's not forget the Browns beat Kansas City.
Okay,
because they show up on the scoreboard.
Thank you. That's what I said.
To me, they're more talented than Kansas City, and I would argue, like the Buccaneers are talented. My thing about the Buccaneers is they brought them all together last year to win a Super Bowl, and they won.
It's like a LeBron
It's an
thing.
older team. I wonder how motivated they're going to be to do it again.
But also
outside of Brady, because Brady just motivates himself.
Yeah, Brady leads that team, obviously.
Right.
But one of the things, too, I went back and I was watching the highlights. We also missed a field goal.
Yep.
So that was like a 39-yarder. So that was critical. So right there, that's 10 points off of the board right there.
Right now, the only question mark I have in this Browns team is kicking. And it's been an issue.
Yeah.
Kicking is an issue.
You can't rectify that. That's terrible. Missing the extra points.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that game, special teams was an issue for us as well as defense. But, that rule that I had never even heard of until it happened, I'm still in disbelief of that rule in which you fumble out of the end zone. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
The other team gets the ball. But that's 7 points right there that you could have got. And a field goal, that's a 10-point swing. And we only lost by 5 points.
Yeah.
So we would have won by 5. And I think that Kansas City is getting ready for us as well because they recognize, hey, we didn't blow them out like everybody thought we were going to. It was a much closer game. And once the Browns started to play and got in rhythm a little bit, they were able to make some things happen. It was kind of bad. Yeah, and our defense got exposed, which was bad, but we've significantly improved our defense on paper, so they know it's going to be different. And they have to get ready for the Browns as well, too.
The Browns are the scariest team in the NFL to me because of Chubb and Hunt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No matter what you put out, that's
they both might be able to get 1,000 yards, too. And then think about the all-purpose yards that Kareem can get with his ability to catch the ball, too, and get yards after the catch as well. So that's one thing that defenses are going to have to prepare for as well as this team goes into the second year of their offense. They're only going to get better as they get used to this system. And one thing is they have bought into it. This Browns team is not a team in the past where people just showing up for their paycheck. Yes, people are showing up for their paycheck, but this team knows that they can win. And they can walk into any contest believing that they can win, knowing that they can win because they can win this game against Kansas City on the road because they almost pulled it off there in the playoffs. So I definitely believe everybody's like, well, I don't want to open up against them. I'm like, the Browns have just as much opportunity to win this game as they do in Kansas City. And you know what? I honestly thought about maybe trying to obtain some credentials and getting out there. Flights are only like $200 right now. So it's something I'm thinking about. If I can get somebody that want to go with me, it just